What's up everyone? In today's video we are going to talk about the best weapon loadouts and best inventory you and your friends should be rocking if you want to seize more dubs in Season 8. And there are a lot of options right now, and that's mainly because vending machines are so useful. You also have treasure chests, which are giving so many people gold loot, so if you just kill one team it really gives you a great opportunity to stack up against the rest of the lobby. But if you aren't looting wisely and you're not rotating to the right locations for great treasure and also loot, you are going to be behind on weapons and it's going to give you a serious disadvantage. And then also if your inventory isn't set up the right way and you aren't carrying the right items, you aren't going to be beneficial in a duo or in a squad. So I'm just going to show you a couple different loadouts I've been rocking and how I've been rotating as wisely as possible to make sure I obtain the best loot possible, so I can make sure I don't have to Houdini people every single time like I did in this play right here. It's just really stressful to be in those situations, and if you have better weapons it gives you the best opportunity to survive and also seize those wins. So let's get into these tips. Now the first loadout I'm going to show you has to do with the heavy sniper, but I also wanted to say you will always see me rocking the assault rifle, shotgun, and submachine gun in my first, second, and third slots. That will never change, and I think you guys should always rock that as well. The deagle used to be a good third slot option because it could knock out walls so quickly and then you could get off a nice pump shot, but that's for people that are more accurate. I would say the SMG is just so consistent right now, and that you need to understand that so many people are great builders and it gives you a second option to spray down a wall and help your teammates out if you are rocking in duos and squads. But you will see right off the bat I got that treasure chest. Cole and I have been talking about how important it is to try to incorporate treasure maps into your rotations, so I was kind of going that way anyway to get into the zone, so you might as well tackle that treasure chest as early as possible. You're going to get gold guns, so if other people have gold guns you're on par with them, and then if other people haven't had a chance to loot well, then you also have the advantage by having better weapons than them. It's just going to give you the best chance to kill players that are either on par with you or even better. Then after that you see I'm going to talk about the heavy sniper loadout. It's just one of my absolute favorites, so I made sure I picked that up, and then I always try to get high ground whenever I have this loadout so you can snipe down at people that are unsuspecting. So you saw I went to the volcano, one of the highest points on the map, if not the highest, and so I made sure I went and got up there. I picked off two guys that weren't moving, and that's why I wanted to say this is a loadout that it doesn't take a ton of skill. If you are patient and you make sure you pick and choose your shots, it's going to allow even players that don't think they're very good a great opportunity to wipe out players that are way better. You're seeing that I just took out 3 players and I didn't have to build at all, and also it's making me save on mats, on ammo, on damage. It's just a great weapon all around to have, and you will see right here the situations I'm talking about when you should be patient. I could have shot at that guy earlier, but there's no guarantee I would have hit him. Right there I waited for my shot and I wiped him out very easily. Another benefit of that heavy sniper is it does knock out those walls in one shot. So if you put it next to a heavy shotgun, you knock out a wall, get inside of someone's base, and then you shotgun them, it takes a ton of people by surprise. It's something that's great to practice in creatives, and I really recommend you guys start doing that. So this is loadout number 1, one of my absolute favorites if you enjoy sniping, and it's a lot of victory royales that will be coming your way. The next clips I'm going to show you and the next loadout I want to talk about has to do with the minigun. So you see my first 3 weapons are consistent. I almost always have a heal in the 4th slot. I think it's really important that you kind of talk about with your team of what priority you need to be, whether it's in duo or squads. That's one of the first things I probably should have talked about. You need to communicate with your person that you are playing with, and so if they're kind of a person that's more aggressive and you are not as strong a player, you should definitely be rocking something like the minigun, because you can see even a player like me, I am still pushing with the minigun because it is so useful. So I'm using a slot on that because if you get into intense build fights, it is great for spraying people down and allowing your teammates that may be better with shotguns to get in there and do some serious damage. The big thing about the minigun and Splodes as well is it is a great distraction piece. You can really frustrate teams because they have to deal with you, and if they don't, they are going to pay the price just like this guy did right here. It's just very tough on teams, and that's why a minigun should usually be in your inventory. And the great thing about it is as well is whenever people are build spamming or they're trying to get teammates up, you can make it to where that's nearly impossible. So whether you are in duos or squads, squads, you can tell your team, hey, minigun fire going down, your team can push and pick up some very easy kills, and that's going to allow you guys to have a much easier time in final circles. If you guys are outnumbering people and you're playing somebody that's way better than your team overall, if you've got that minigun, you give your team a great chance at beating that really good player, because I know it's tougher now that players are getting health back. It really gives those good players an advantage to take on squads that may be a bit weaker and aren't overall as strong as somebody else. And so you will see at the very end of this clip here, I'm rocking that minigun, doing some serious damage, and you will see the last thing I wanted to say on this weapon is if you leave yourself exposed for too long because you are out in the open, you're just squatting with that big old minigun out, you can take some damage from elsewhere. So that's why it's important to wall off. You'll see at the end of the clip, I kind of botch it and end up taking damage and going down. So make sure you learn from my mistakes. Always try to wall off so that you can only get shot from the person you are shooting at, and it's just going to serve you well very long term. Another thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to getting the right inventory is checking out vending machines. Cole talked to me about how important it's been whenever he's playing in these big tournaments and in the gauntlet, about how vending machines were absolutely massive, because whenever you're playing slow and conservative, which I know a lot of our subs do, you guys like to land at locations that aren't very popular, so maybe you won't find a treasure map. The vending machines are going to give you the opportunity to farm mats, which you are probably pretty good at if you play slower, so you can farm those mats and see what the vending machine has to offer, so you can find guns that are purple or gold, and it's just a great way to get better weapons. So don't forget to make sure you guys are utilizing those. It's a great opportunity to enhance that weapon loadout and make sure you're ready to go for the end game. The last loadout I'm going to show you guys footage for has to do with the rocket launcher and explodes in general, so don't think it just has to be a gold rocket or a grenade launcher like Justin's rocking. But in this game, for example, we lost our teammates very early, and Justin and I knew if we wanted a chance, we were going to have to make teams split up if they wanted to beat us, so we could fight them, you know, 1-on-2 or 1-on-1, and it would make life a lot easier on us. And so you will see the explodes off the start made this team split up. I'm able to get in very easy knock right there on a guy that's trying to heal up, and now we're in a 2v3 situation, which is much more manageable. Justin then takes out another one, and it's a 2v2. This is what you all need to start paying attention to whenever you're in squads. Talk to your teammates. Justin and I knew what each other had, and it's going to make life a lot easier whenever we're pinching teams and kind of understanding what the other player can provide for each other. Now, you can also use things like stink bombs, clingers. They're also useful. Don't get me wrong. I see a ton of pros using these in the skirmishes and in also some of these, you know, really competitive matches. The thing I don't like about them is you can't pick up ammo for them. I don't like that you have to specifically find those items. So don't get me wrong, stinks and clingers are great for dividing teams as well, and also exploding people that are camping in boxes. But at the same time, I would much rather have you guys stick to rocket launchers or grenade launchers. One of the other items I haven't talked about yet has to do with the redeployable glider. This item is absolutely insane, and I've used it so much that sometimes I don't even need to use heals, and that's another loadout I haven't really shown you footage for because I don't really have too many that are recent. But what I love doing now that you get health back, if you're a really good player, a great loadout is not even using a heal. If you just want to push people and get health back that way and take whatever heals they had, it allows you to have a 5th slot. So then you could have a rocket launcher in the 4th slot and also a sniper in the 5th slot. It's just an absolutely insane loadout and can do a ton of damage very quickly. Now at the very end of the games, this is why I love the rocket so much. This guy is able to get his teammates up, and then I just immediately explode him right back down, and Justin and I end up in a 2v1 situation. We have made life so much easier on us thanks to explodes, and I know that a lot of people don't like explodes. They don't take a lot of skill, but for any of you players that aren't as strong, it's a great opportunity for you guys to contribute to winning teams. That's about everything I wanted to talk about though. Thank you very much for watching, and if there are any inventories that you think have really led to success for you and for easier wins and more wins, please let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate that. And also the key takeaways really have to do with utilizing vending machines and treasure chests to obtain better loot whenever you may have just a really crappy inventory. That's going to allow you to have at least the same level of weapons as other players or better weapons, and that's a nice advantage and can lead to more wins, especially if you are able to take out people earlier and make it to that end game. Another thing I want you guys to start doing whenever you're playing duos or squads is work on that communication with your teammate about what inventory you need to be rocking, because you guys can definitely complement each other. You saw Justin and I earlier rocking explodes with each other so that we could really just bombard teams and overwhelm them even though we were outnumbered. that is just absolutely massive. And if you need to be carrying things like stinks, so you are kind of throwing it in to distract teams whenever your teammates are pushing, or you need to use clingers so you can blow people up whenever they're camping in boxes, that's stuff that you need to consider and talk through with your teams. And that's why I just want to make sure you guys are having open dialogue, because it will lead to better gameplay and just you having the right items to go for those dubs. And it's really important you make sure you do that. So thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys start racking up the wins more consistently. This has been Josh from RodeyBros, and I will see you all in the next video.
Started as a zero, I was chasing dreams, trying to turn into a hero. Sniper rifle, 5 rifles, going for the title. I could be the one that they idol.